Depending on when you're watching this, it's that time of year again. It's cold, it's slippery, and with all of that, it's icy. But at least we still get to ride. That is, of course, if you have some studded tires. And if you're wondering whether or not they're worth it, I did make a video previously about how great they are and what to expect if you pick some up, so I'll put the link below on how you can find that video. But they aren't without their flaws, however. It's a bit of an investment at $500 a tire, give or take. Studded tires, they cost you quite a bit to keep you riding year round. And I don't know about you, but if I'm spending $500 on a new tire, I want to make that thing stretch as long as I possibly can, which is what today's video is all about. We're talking about studded tires, and not just them in particular, but more specifically about how to refresh a studded tire, how to throw some new studs in it. I got these things on Amazon. They're fairly expensive, but I'm going to give them a try, let you know what I think. How easy are they to install? Do they hold up? Is there any considerations to keep in mind if you're looking at doing the same thing, either studding a whole new tire altogether or just chucking some studs into a tire that you already have? It just needs a little pick-me-up, a little refresh on the old traction, you know what I mean? So with all that said, roll the intro, let's do this. A quick search and you'll quickly find there are numerous options when it comes to studs. However, there are things that you want to keep in mind if you're looking at installing a few of them in the tire yourself. First, you want to make sure that the stud length is what you're looking for your current tire. You can use both new and used tires, but that's also going to vary the depth of the stud that you can actually use. Keep in mind, with a newer tire, you'll be able to use a longer stud versus a worn tire, you're going to need a shorter stud. That's because of the size of the knobby on the tire. Obviously, a newer tire is going to have longer knobbies, so you can use a longer stud. Secondly, the amount of studs you're going to need will obviously vary as well. They'll come in various packs ranging from 1 to 500, and as a reference point, you'll need anywhere from 3 to 500 to do a full tire. So I picked up a set of 100, which is more than I need, but it'll give me a few extra to throw them in again. Because look, no matter what you do, at some point riding with a studded tire, these things are going to get ripped out. They're going to catch on something, a rock, a stick, a tree, buried in the ice, whatever it may be. At some point, they're going to come out. So if you have a few extra studs, more than you need to actually just kind of refresh the tire, I mean, it just makes sense, right? You can throw them in as needed, kind of get a few more hours out of these things before you have to pony up the cash to get another one. Next, the width of the stud matters. If the width of the stud is too great, it'll be difficult to fit more than one into a single knobby or tire. Also, if the width of the stud is too great, it will just tear the knobby apart. Additionally, if you need to replace one, it might be difficult to fit it in with the other studs that are already in place. And finally, the material that they're made of matters. Like the studded tires themselves, the studs aren't overly cheap, so you want to get some that are made of a quality material that will last you when you're riding on rocks or tracks or various surfaces you might find. I picked up some carbide studs, which is actually considered a pretty hard metal. That's meant for heavy loads and things that have a high hardness rating. That means they're going to take more abuse before breaking. Installation is really easy. If you pick up the right stud, the pack will come with a bit that locks into place on the stud. So all you need is a drill that you can insert the bit into and you're set. You want to slowly insert the stud with your hand on the underside of the tire to make sure that it's not coming through. If that happens, it will easily pop the tube that you have in place. You want to sink the stud into the rubber just deep enough so that it's going to get traction and sits flush with the knobby, but not so deep that it breaks through. And that's when the length of the stud becomes really important. If the knobby's torn apart enough, drilling the stud in will just kind of tear the knobby apart, and that's okay because you're just trying to refresh the tire anyway. It's as easy as that, and if you have multiple studs that need to be replaced on one knobby, consider angling them a little bit just to make sure that they're going to fit. If you wanted, you could stud your entire tire in the same fashion. The price will be up there a little bit because you're going to have to order give or take 300 to 500 studs. And for that price, you might as well go buy a pre-studded tire that's going to be cheaper. And there are going to be a ton of different stud options when you get to looking. I've seen everything from the ones that I've shown you that are easy to screw in, meant for all kinds of tires, up to concrete studs that I've seen people use in tires and are actually a pretty popular option. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do it. I don't think there's a right or a wrong stud. It depends on what you're using it for, and it depends on how much money you have. These are quite a bit of money. So I say if it gets you out there riding in the winter, I think it's fantastic. Everyone's gonna have an opinion, of course, on which one's better, and that's totally cool, because there are pros and cons to each one. Maybe you've tried these ones that I've used and they're not that great for you. Maybe you've tried the concrete studs and they seem to work great, or maybe vice versa, they don't work great. Either way, I hope you liked the video. I hope it helped you in some way. If so, smash that subscribe button for me. You know I appreciate it. Hope you guys get out there riding in the winter. If so, throw me a comment. Let me know what kind of studs you're using. If you're good, bad, different, anything like that. I'm curious to know. And if you are out there riding in the colder weather, or heck, if you get to ride on dry dirt, by all means, stay safe, ride safe. We'll see you in the next video.